Tammy Jo Zywicki was 21 years old when she disappeared on August 23, 1992. Her car was found abandoned on a quiet stretch of I-80 in Illinois. 9 days later, her body was discovered more than 500 miles away in rural Missouri. She had been assaulted, murdered, and discarded beside a highway. More than 30 years later, her killer has never been found. This is her story, a story of ambition, mystery, and the relentless search for justice. Tammy Jo Zywicki was born on March 13, 1971 in Pleasant Hill, Pennsylvania. She was the third of 4 children raised by Joanne and Hank Zywicki. Her early years were spent in Lebanon County before the family moved to Greenville, South Carolina. Tammy graduated from Eastside High School in 1989, where she was known for her warm personality, athleticism, and creative spirit. She played soccer, worked on the school yearbook, and adored photography. Her passion for the craft was well known. In her own words, she said, "I think the best thing about taking pictures was getting to see the negatives turn into pictures." After high school, Tammy moved with her family to Marlton, New Jersey. She spent her summers working at a local Blockbuster. She attended Grinnell College in Iowa, majoring in art history and Spanish. In her junior year, she studied abroad in Spain. She was the college yearbook photographer and had been accepted into the School of Art Institute of Chicago, where she had hoped to pursue a career in sports photography. In 2023, her high school dedicated their yearbook to her memory, saying, "Tammy had the heart and view of an artist, a beam of sunshine taken too soon." On August 23, 1992, Tammy left Evanston, Illinois after dropping off her younger brother at Northwestern University. She was driving solo to Grinnell, Iowa to prepare for the upcoming school year. However, her 1985 Pontiac T1000 had been giving her trouble. Multiple witnesses reported seeing her pulled over on Interstate 80 near mile marker 83, close to North Utica, Illinois. Tammy was seen between 3:10 and 4 p.m. standing near her car with the hood up. Nearby, there was a tractor trailer parked. Witnesses described it as having a faded, rusty orange stripe around the center. The driver was described as a white male, 35 to 40 years old, well over 6 feet tall, and with bushy, dark hair. That evening, a state trooper ticketed Tammy's car for abandonment. The car was locked, with Tammy's purse and belongings still inside. It was towed the next day. Meanwhile, her mother, Joanne, waited for the call that never came. Tammy was expected to check in when she reached campus. Instead, Joanne contacted the Illinois State Police to report her daughter missing. But authorities initially dismissed her concerns. They suggested Tammy had run off with a boyfriend. The only problem with that theory was that she didn't have one. On September 1st, 1992, a trucker pulled over on Interstate 44 in Lawrence County, Missouri, more than 500 miles from where Tammy was last seen. He gave 2 conflicting accounts. In one version, he claimed he stopped to urinate, and in another, he said he was preparing his bed for the rain. He reported a strange smell when he pulled over. What he found was chilling, a large bundle wrapped in a red blanket and sealed with duct tape. Inside was the body of Tammy Jo Zywicki. She had been sexually assaulted, stabbed 7 to 8 times in the chest, and these stab wounds were arranged in a circle around her heart and were made by a small but sharp object. Her cause of death was internal bleeding. She was still wearing the clothes she had last been seen in. However, her 35mm camera was missing, as was her green banded Loris wristwatch with a green umbrella on its face that played "Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head." Also, a patch from the St. Giles Soccer Club in Greenville was gone. FBI quickly joined the investigation and released a flyer detailing the suspect description. Multiple tips were received and several truckers were questioned. One man, Lonnie Beerbroat, became a person of interest. He was a long-haul trucker with a record. His wife had pawned a woman's watch that looked a lot like Tammy's, but forensic testing revealed no match. According to the Des Moines Register, Illinois State Police investigator Marty McCarthy, who retired in 2001, said several times that there was compelling circumstantial evidence that Lonnie Beerbroat, an ex-con trucker with both ties to Illinois and Missouri, should be the prime suspect. McCarthy told the Des Moines Register in 2014 the Illinois State Police and FBI appeared to give up on Beerbroat as a suspect after the 20th anniversary of Zywicki's death in 2012. McCarthy said Hiram Grau, Illinois State Police Director from 2011 to 2015, showed interest in the case and had contacted him, But after Beerbrote's ex-wife refused to talk to investigators, who a nurse at a health clinic reported had showed off a musical watch similar to one that belonged to Zywicki and went missing after her abduction, the trail appeared to run out. According to McCarthy, Beerbrote lived in Missouri, close to the stretch of highway where Zywicki's body was found. He drove a Kenworth truck, according to the news reports, and the red blanket in which Zywicki's body was found had a Kenworth logo. Beerbrote, a LaSalle County native, confirmed to investigators that he had been near the spot on I-80 where Zywicki was last seen on the day of the abduction. His brothers and mother lived in Peru, Illinois, and he had been trying to get a job there. Beerbrote died in 2002. The case began to grow cold. In 2015, the Illinois State Police brought in the Viaduct Society, a group of retired investigators and forensic experts who specialize in cold cases. Around the same time, Tammy's friends created a petition urging law enforcement to release more information to generate new leads. In 2019, the Facebook page Who Killed Tammy Zywicki and members of her hometown community organized the first annual Tammy Ride, a motorcycle memorial event that continues to this day. In 2020, a new name emerged: Clark Perry Baldwin. A trucker and convicted serial killer, Baldwin was arrested for the murders of 3 women in the 1990s. His method of operation was disturbingly similar: abducting women at truck stops and dumping their wrapped bodies along highways. A retired investigator on Tammy's case suggested Baldwin could be responsible, and for a time he was considered a suspect. But shortly after, Illinois State Police announced Baldwin had been ruled out. No explanation was given. Still, there was hope. Advances in forensic science allowed authorities to extract a usable DNA sample from evidence in Tammy's case. Her brother Todd confirmed the update, saying, "That is encouraging." Still, no suspects have been named. No one has been arrested. Tammy Jo Zywicki was more than just a victim. She was a daughter, a sister, a friend, a student, a teammate, and a photographer. Her dream was to turn fleeting moments into lasting memories. Her life was cut short, but her story continues to be told. Her mother, Joanne Zywicki, continues to fight for answers. However, her father, Hank, passed away in 2015 without ever knowing who took his daughter's life and why. Tammy's case remains on the FBI website. Her story is still being shared. Her image still circulates, and her family still hopes that someone, somewhere, will come forward. More than 3 decades have passed, but it's not too late. The FBI and Illinois State Police are offering a $50,000 reward for information that leads to the arrest and conviction of Tammy Jo Zywicki's killer. If you know anything, even a small detail, call the Illinois State Police at 815-726-6377. You can remain anonymous. No one has to know it was you. Tammy's story deserves an ending. Her family deserves justice, and her killer deserves to be held accountable.